I might start a reading vlog for ARCs. I have a lot of ARCs to read, but I have one that's coming out tomorrow. So this vlog might come out after it releases, but and then two others, one May 24th and one not till July or June or something, but it sounds interesting, so I want to read it. So I started this one, Homestead by Claire Kent, and series. I've read all of them except actually the previous book to this one I didn't read. I own it, but I haven't read it yet. But I'm making this one my priority because they can be read as standalones. So I'm reading that, and I'm not too far in, 13% in, and the only reason I stopped reading was because I started last night and I was like falling asleep. So um it's really good so far, and it's kind of gonna be like almost like a marriage of convenience. And these are post-apocalyptic books, this series. So it's like after years after like the world was wrecked by an asteroid or something like that, and they're rebuilding, and they have different communities, and the stories pick up in these different communities with different characters. So we have our heroine was living with her grandfather because her parents died, and they get into like a situation, and the grandfather dies. It's not really a spoiler because it happens really soon in the book. And then there is a guy there that ends up saving her, helping her. He shoots the person who shot her grandfather. So she like goes with him, and he has a house, and his parents have a house, and he lives on like a community, in a community that they built. They have gardens, and there's a lot of work to be done because it's kind of like everything's like back old fashioned. They have to do everything from scratch because they don't have running water and all that stuff. I don't really know all the details, but anyway, it's really good. And so she's with him, and she was with his parents, and then he just kind of like propositioned her and said, like, will you basically be my wife and like take care of the household while I'm doing, the man things. And, he did make it mention like he expected her to be a true wife too. So that's interesting. So I guess it kind of falls into, besides post-apocalyptic, but like forced proximity. So I thought I might make some bath bombs for forced proximity because I have to make them anyway. And so that's kind of what I've been doing, making bath bombs to match what I'm reading. So that might be in here. So I'm going to read more, and the other books I'm reading are Sinfully Wanton, which is historical, by Kathleen Ayers. I've read this series. There's three I think books before this, maybe four, but I've read 3 books from the series, the beginning of the series, and I really loved them. So I'm gonna read this one, and this is historical, so I can make historical romance bath bombs. And then I'm also going to try to read, I'm going to read this one, The Unraveling by Keeneland, which she writes romance, but this is a thriller. I assume it has some romance in it too, and it sounds really good. This one doesn't come out until like late June, I think, but it sounds really good, and I want to read this one. So I don't know what trope this has. It's a thriller, so we'll see. But those are the 3 books I'm going to try to read for this ARC vlog. So if you're interested in any of them, keep watching. Okay, I'm off to read Homestead and get through that because I'm really interested and I feel like I'm going through it pretty fast. So, maybe if I can finish it, then I'll make the bath bombs. We'll see. We'll see how long it takes me. And I'm just having a lazy day, so I look a little crazy. So ignore that. But I will update you when I read some more.
Hello. So I'm going to make some bath bombs. I'll probably do it silent and put music over it because you've seen me do this a million times. But I'm doing a reading vlog for ARCs, and I'm reading this right now, which it releases today, so I'm running a little late. It's Homestead by Claire Kent, and it just released today, and I'm on 58%, and I thought a good bath bomb would be Forced Proximity, because it's an apocalyptic romance, and I don't have anything for that yet. But you know, it's like that after an asteroid hits, it's years later, and there's all these different communities setting themselves up, like farming and like just starting over because there's no electricity, no running water, all that stuff. So our hero saves our heroine, and she was with her grandfather, who was the only person that she had, and that's who she lived with in the woods, like in a cabin that he had like set up for the end of the world, basically. So the hero takes her in and takes her to his parents' house to stay, and then after like a couple of days propositions her to be like his wife, basically. I mean, they don't have really weddings, I don't think, but for her to come live with him and help him do chores and be a wife in all ways too. So she agrees because she's like all by herself. Her grandfather's dead. She has nobody to protect her. And there's like gangs and like a lot of dangerous stuff in this new world. So she agrees, and her whole goal is just to make him happy. So like cook him the best meals, and then she talks to one of the other girls and gets advice, like sex advice. And she's a virgin, so she doesn't know what she's doing. So she moves in with him and is just trying to be a good helper and all that. And then they have, you know, they get intimate and they start getting like a routine. And, you know, they're living in this little cabin. And it's really good. I'm really interested. Hopefully I could finish it today. I think I can. I think I will. After I make these, and a little bit later I'm gonna read some more. But Forced Proximity, I thought would be a good thing. It's very spicy, so I might make these too. The chili pepper with sweet orange chili pepper scent, because this is for my spicy romance, and there's definitely a lot of spice in this book. But we're going to do Forced Proximity right now, and I'm going to do it in Stolen Kisses. make sure I have everything. I'll be right back. Hello. So I thought I'd make more bath bombs for this book. I made some forced proximity ones, and I think now I'm going to make some chili peppers for spicy romance with sweet orange chili pepper, because this book is pretty spicy, but it's good too. It's got like it's survival, and the hero's really protective, and he's kind of, I don't know, he's kind of a beta hero, which I like sometimes. He's very possessive, but he's kind of quiet and unassuming. But I'm on 67%. This releases today, May 17th. I'm probably going to post this after that, but I'm almost done with it. So I'll write a review. And then I have 2 other arcs that I want to read for this vlog. That the Simply Wanton and The Unraveling, which is a thriller. So we'll see what tropes we get from that. Well, Sinfully Wanton is a historical, so I know I can make some historical bath bombs, which I have a teapot, and I have a mustache. And I haven't used the mustache yet, so maybe I'll do the mustache. We'll see. Got cleaned up a little bit, but I made my sweet orange chili pepper scented bath bombs. This is for spicy romance, and I'm probably gonna paint them. Okay, first I'm gonna paint these chili peppers that I made yesterday for spicy romance, because my book was getting pretty spicy, and the one I'm reading now is very spicy, sexy, whatever you want to call it, but I'm calling these the spicy romance. And then I have reading as sexy, and I think that's lips, so maybe I'll do those too. But I wanted to paint these. The scent is like red orange chili pepper, so I was gonna do the peppers, this Trial by Fire. It's kind of like a dark red orange, and then the stems. So I wonder if I should add some shimmer to it. And see, there's the green. See how it has the shimmer? Hello. So I thought I should update and I let you know I finished Homestead just in time. It releases today, so I put it in my review and linked it and everything already, but um I still really wanted to read it for this vlog, so it was just like the rest of the series. I've loved every book in the series. I think it's called Kindred, maybe, something like that. And it basically, you know, I mean, it like it gives you hope, you know, if something were ever to happen in the world where we had to start over, that you could find people and create your own, you know, communities, and life can go on, and you can find love. So, I mean, they're all romance, so, I mean, there's the survival aspect, and then there's
the romance aspect. So I really like this story. It's kind of like a arranged marriage situation, forced proximity. Obviously, this is post-apocalyptic. I said that already. Spoiler: surprise pregnancy. So I could make some of those bath bombs. I did make some this morning. I made forced proximity and I made spicy romance bath bombs, but I could do the surprise pregnancy one for this one too. But I have started a new book. This one, Sinfully Wanton by Kathleen Ayres, and I've read like 3 of her other books and loved them. I think I gave them all 5 stars, so I'm expecting good things. I'm only like 9% in, so I don't know yet how I feel, but so far it seems like it's the main character. Our heroine is in her 2nd season, and she seems kind of bored, and she wants, I don't know, she wants something more. So she's just kind of like looking at all the men at this picnic that she's at and kind of like brushing each of them off as potential suitors. And I think she comes across one that she didn't consider. So I think it might end up being like an enemies to lovers situation. And it might even be a brother's best friend, or I'm not sure. I haven't gotten that far into it yet. I'll let you know what tropes it's got, but so far so good. And this one, May 24th. So I'll put this vlog out before then. And I can make some bath bombs possibly again tomorrow morning, maybe, for historical romance, since this is a historical romance. Or one of the other tropes that's probably in here. And then I was going to show you, I ordered some digital things off Etsy to print some things just to put in packages for orders and things, and just for myself, like a bunch of bookmarks and things like that. But I got this thing. It's, I printed it, but it's like a book discussion thing, like prompts. And I cut it out and I laminated it. And there's like so many questions on here. I thought it would be good if I'm ever stuck for what to say about a book, like maybe a 3-star type of book where I'm kind of like, I don't really know what to say about it, or also just to jog my memory. Like, here's one. Are there lingering questions from the book you're still thinking about? And on to Simply Wanton. I love this cover. It's like purple and pink. So I'm going to have to get a physical copy when it comes out. So let me continue reading that. And so also, when I had ordered on Etsy a bunch of digital stuff, I ordered, like I said, that thing I showed, the book chat questions. There was another store, which I'll have to link it because I can't remember the name, that had tarot cards, which I have the Lila June ones. I have a lot of them. I don't have all of them anymore, but she's come out with a bunch of new ones I haven't gotten yet, but and I really love them. Whew, sorry. So anyway, I found another person on there that had tarot cards with like tropes and different things on them. And so I printed those out and laminated and rounded the corners and all that. So I'll have to show you guys them more in depth. But they're super cute. I'm trying to find one that's like really adorable. Well, here's a good one for my book. Forced Proximity. And I think these are just so cute. Here's Billionaire Romance. Meet Cute. Sets. So that's the romance set. And then she also, I think it's a she, the person that I ordered from also had a book lovers set and I don't know if it was true crime or thriller. I think it's true crime, like true crime. So a lot of like stuff for thrillers, like The Podcast, The Husband Did It, The Hitchhiker. I thought they're just so cute. And oh yeah, let me show you some from this is the book lover set. The Reading Journal, Fantasy, The Library. There's just romance. Audiobook. Cute. Just one more chapter. The Bookstagrammer. The Annotator. Look how cute that is. So anyway, I'm going to link the shop that I got these from and the one that I got the book chat ones too. Because they're so cute and everybody needs to have them. And I don't know how I found them just scrolling. I don't know. So I'll shut up now and go back to my reading, and I will update you the next time I have an update. So I thought, since I'm reading this and it's historical romance, I would make some bath bombs, mustache bath bombs, which I got thinking I would use them for historical romance. But I think what I'm going to do, at least in this instance, I'm going to use it and call it the rake, because the hero in this book is a rake, and they mention it a lot. And it's about a girl, she's in her second season, and this man is her brother's best friend, and he's watching out for her because he doesn't want her to ruin herself, because she's very curious about, sexual stuff. And the family's reputation, their past is a little bit scandalous, I guess. So people already hold that against them, but they're now, in a better place. And it's her brother and her aunt and her. I think her parents died. Anyway, she goes to a ball, and anyway, she approaches her brother's best friend. His name is Charles Worthington, but she calls him Worth, and asks him if he would give her like sensual lessons, like without ruining her, but everything he could to teach her so she knows when she gets married. And she's got two like suitors that she's thinking about, but really she just has always had a crush on Charles Worth, the Worthington. His name is Worth, or she calls him Worth, but she doesn't tell
tell him that right away. So he doesn't want to teach her anything. He gives her a book that's like a memoir by a courtesan, and it's got a bunch of stuff. So he gives her that, and then she reads it, and then she shows up at his house and is like, I have questions, you need to explain. So things get heated, and he realizes he can't resist her because he tries to protect her because she's the younger sister of his best friend, but he also wants her, and he knows his friend will probably kill him, so he keeps distance from her as much as he can. But then she's trying to find out, you know, more about sex and stuff like that, and he doesn't want her to be ruined by somebody. And then he ends up getting jealous of her wanting to experiment with, if he won't do it, then with one of her suitors, and they're really stiff and they don't try anything to her disappointment. But anyway, I am at 78%, and I'm really loving it. I almost read it in one sitting yesterday, but I was getting interrupted, so I couldn't. But I will finish it today, and then I'll move on to the next arc. I want to read the next arc. I want to read The Unraveling by Keelan, and she's a romance author, and I think this is her first thriller. I'm not sure, but it sounds really good, and I assume there'll be some romance probably. But anyway, I'm going to make these bath bombs for Simply Wanton. So I'm going to make mustaches, and it's going to be for the rake. So since it's hard to get black, I do have some black mixed up lakes, and then I have my gray dye powder. So I'm going to combine those two and see what we get, and then I'll probably paint mica, like a dark gray or black mica. I think I have a black one, and maybe use the black onyx glitter. So I've got my dry all in here. I've got my salt that holds the fragrance, and now I gotta put in the fragrance, and I'm using You Sexy Thing, You. And they're short. They're a little bit short, so you can get through them really quick. I mean, I think they're like 250 pages or something, so they're a little bit shorter than. And then add and do Reading is Sexy or something like that, like, or Book Nerd, or, and I'll add that too. All right, so I've got black lakes and gray dye powder. So we've got, this is from Inedible Soaps, I believe. Yeah, because Cata doesn't make purple. Most of these have been Inedible Soaps molds. I'll link what molds, where I got the molds, because I can't remember. All right. This is gonna be so cute. So this is gonna be the rake. And I have a teapot that can just be historical romance. But I can make this historical romance too, but I just thought it was cute, that it's funny that they're calling him a rake and blah, blah, blah. And thought that would be fun. And let's see if we have good luck with this mold. I like the molds that they have that have the little edges, but and we have a mustache for the rake. Okay, so I finished my rake bath bombs. So they're just gonna be called the rake, I think. And I'm gonna paint them or just put glitter on them when they're dry. Well, I can put glitter on them now. They're a good color, I think. I'm afraid that when they dry, they might not be the right color, and I'm gonna have to paint them with mica. So I'll wait on the glitter until they're dry. See what color we get. And they're in the scent, which smells super good. But I have this little bit of crumbs. I'm gonna show you what the water looks like. This is the black and gray, but to make those you have to add blue. So a lot of times there's going to be a bluish tint, blue or greenish tint to it. But this was just a few crumbs. Beautiful dark water. It's like the blue-gray. It's kind of grayish, but it's really pretty. Hello. So here's my rake bath bombs. The rake is going to be on the tags. And I'm going to paint them with this mica. It's kind of like a dark, really dark gray. Because even though I made these like blackish gray, they still have a blue tone to them. So I'm going to paint with this mica and then spray it with like a black glitter. You can kind of tell by the color of the, a little bit more. I'm wondering if this is gonna do the same thing as the Mafia Romance, where I painted like a gray over the top and they were kind of blue, just black onyx glitter. And there is our rake bath bombs, because I was reading Simply Wanton, an ARC. Hello, so I thought I'd update you on my ARC reading, and I just finished Simply Wanton by Kathleen Ayers. That comes May 24th. I loved it, 5 stars. I have to rate my review, but it had everything I like in her books, and I've read 3 of her other books, and I can't remember the order, but this one's Forgetting the Earl, Chasing the Earl, and Enticing the Earl. And I believe they're part of the same series, but I loved these. Were all 5 stars, and you see they're short, which is nice. But this one is kind of, it's a brother's best friend, and it's kind of an enemies to lovers, but not
completely. I mean, she's forbidden to him because she's his best friend's little sister, but he is attracted to her, of course, but he tries to keep his distance, and she, of course, has a crush on him. And then it turns into like lessons in seduction kind of thing. She wants to learn, and he ends up being coerced into teaching her things. And then she has suitors, but she doesn't want them. She wants him, but he's, he's a rake, and he got burned before he was engaged, and it didn't work out, and so he said he's never getting married and whatever, and he's not the heir, he's like the spare, so he doesn't have to. And so there's secrets, which I like. There's always like little bits sprinkled in about past little secrets, so I won't spoil that, about the heroine and the hero. And it's Aurora and Charles, or Worth is what she calls him. And anyway, I really loved it, and it's nice, and it's very spicy, of course, because like lessons in seduction. And then we get an epilogue, which I love. So my plan is to start this one, The Unraveling by Keeland, who's a romance author, but this is like a thriller with maybe some romance in it, I don't know. But regardless, I love thriller books anyway, so I'm sure I'll love it. So I'm excited to start this one. I might even start it before we leave or in the car. So 2 books down. Shampoo. I made some bath bombs this morning, and you'll see some of that. But I also made some shampoo bars, and I have my stuff out still to make more shampoo bars, and I want to make conditioner bars. But anyway, on that. But I definitely recommend this author, Kathleen Ayers. All of her books are really good, but this one is the one I was reviewing, Simply Wanton. So I give this one 5 stars. I have to write a quick review on Goodreads, and I'll link it on my Instagram. That's all that's going on for my Saturday, and I will update you when there's something else going on. Talk to you later.
Good morning. So I have a couple packages, compilation. So I got a 30-pack of meaning composition notebooks that I'm going to use. I saw a cute idea. Here's what they look like. So I will cover the front and the back and probably the insides, and it could be like a little reading notebook. And then I got Hopeless to finish my collection. So now I have these and Hopeless. Powerless, Reckless, Heartless, my favorite, Flawless, and Hopeless. And I think I want to make bath bomb with these colors. I might do, what's the name of this series? Chestnut Springs. A Chestnut Springs bath bomb collection. And I'll do like a purple, an orange, a blue, a pink, and a green. In different scents. I'm glad to have these. And then I got these pens because I've seen people decorate the pens, so I thought it'd be cute to go with the notebook. You put like pattern or some kind of pattern paper or something in the barrel because it opens up and it's a good size. So I got a bunch of pens, and then I got this, which is white matte sticker paper, which is what I'm going to use to cover composition books. So, back to my book. I'm reading The Unraveling, which is my final arc. Well, I had picked out 3, and I read the other 2, so I'm reading The Unraveling by Keeland. I think I'm like 35% in or more. It's getting really good. I was reading when I was going to bed last night, and I was tired, so I had to close it, but I left off in a really good spot. But that's it for today's mail. I'll update you on my reading and what this book is about in a little while. All right, have a good day. I've been reading my arc of The Unraveling by Keelan, and I'm on 65%, and I'm loving it. So Vi Keelan, I don't think she's written a thriller before. She's a romance author, so it's definitely her writing style, you can tell, and there's a little bit of like romancy kind of stuff, but there's a lot of secrets, and I've got a lot of guesses on what's going on and who's who and all that stuff. But basically, it's a woman, I forgot her name, and she's married to a hockey player, and she's a psychiatrist, and he gets injured and gets put on Oxy, and then ends up getting addicted to Oxy and steals her prescription pads and writes himself prescriptions for Oxy when he can't get it anymore. And like, she realizes, he's been drinking a lot and acting different, and he's just like thinks he's never gonna be able to play again, so he's just like spiraling out of control. So he steals her prescription pads and writes prescriptions. Anyway, then she gets a call that he was in an accident, and he hit 2 pedestrians that were walking, a mother and a 5-year-old girl, and everyone died. Her husband and the 2 victims. And so when she's at the hospital, she sees the husband of the woman who was killed, and she just, so anyway, then it's like a past and present tense that kind of catches up to itself. So it goes back to the past before her husband died. So I think it's been like 18 months or something, and she's able to practice again, like, because her license got suspended for a year because of the prescription pads, because even though she didn't give it to him or write the prescriptions, she felt responsible, so she wanted to be punished, basically. She's walking and she sees the husband of the victim, so she starts following him, and then she's like taking notes and kind of stalking him. And then as part of her like probation as a doctor or whatever, because of the prescription thing, she's got to go to therapy, and she tells her therapist somewhat of the truth about following him and blah blah blah. And then he tells her, that's not good. Then she starts working again at her practice, and so she's lost a bunch of her patients, so she's got a lot of new patients, or she's advertising for new patients. And who walks in but the husband of the victim, and he doesn't recognize her, and she ends up counseling him. And then she tells her therapist, and he says, you need to refer him to someone else. So he's just telling her, he's had trouble sleeping, and told her about, how his wife and daughter died. But his wife was unfaithful, and their marriage wasn't great. So he doesn't seem like, he's obviously heartbroken, but so he's kind of like saying to her, like, I feel guilty moving on, I feel like I want to date again, and, is it too soon, and whatever. In the meantime, she's like infatuated with him. Like, she feels bad for him, and then she also is attracted to him. And so she keeps counseling him. So that's, and then there's also another new patient. That's a girl, a young girl, and I don't know where she falls in here, but I think she's going to come up for some reason, and she's counseling her. But that's kind of where I am right now. She knows she shouldn't be, but she's counseling the victim's husband, even though, you know, he supposedly doesn't know who she is. It's really good. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of reveals soon. And I've got some guesses. I think that young girl that she's counseling has something to do with it. I think that the victim's husband knows who she is. And she's also, she's been getting like mail. She got a package. It was her name, but it was the wrong suite, like for her office. And it was the book You by Carolyn Kepnes about the stalker. And she was all creeped out about that. And then she got another package else that was creepy. And then she keeps thinking she sees somebody watching her. She goes walking and finds a cemetery where the victims are buried, and she goes and sees their graves. And then when she's leaving, she sees like a figure there at the grave sites where she just was. So she feels like someone's watching her, following her. So I don't know if that's going to end up being the victim's husband or someone else, the girl. I don't know. But it's definitely really good. A lot of questions. And I'm really liking it a lot. But that's my update for this. And I am gonna just do some crafty stuff. I don't know, I might do my bubble bath flowers finally. We'll see. But I'll update you when I finish this, probably.
Hey, I got some book mail. I thought I would show you in this vlog. And unfortunately, so I just cut them both open, but I didn't look inside. But I got another copy of Vicious without the pink sprayed edges. And I did an exchange, and I said I wanted the pink sprayed edges, and they still sent me this again. So now I have 2 copies of this to return because I want the pink edges. So I don't know if I'm going to have to go to Barnes & Noble, might have it. I think I might have seen it, and I should have grabbed it then, but Amazon is just not getting it. They're advertising the pink edges, but they're not sending them. I don't know if it was like just the first printing or what, but they need to say that. So now I have 2 copies of this to return, and I need to find the pink sprayed edge one. But I've read that, and I do like it. And then I had pre-ordered this Ruckus, which I haven't read. And it does have the nice green sprayed edges. And there's also Scandalous and Bane that are coming out, that are pre-orders that I'm going to put in for, I think, just to be sure I get the sprayed edge. They're not coming out for a little while. So that's cool. I got one of the correct books, but now I have to return this one because no. So Amazon, you're really getting on my nerves. But anyway, I just thought I would show you my book mail. So I'm off to get back into my book and relax. I'll talk to you soon. Hello. So I'm in one of my reading spots. I wanted to do a final update for this vlog of arcs that I read. And I read Homestead, and it's already out now. It came out on March 17th, so my copy hasn't come yet. I loved it, gave it 5 stars. I get into more detail in the vlog, but I made a couple bath bombs based on it. So I made these forced proximity ones, little, like a trailer. And then I made these little chili pepper ones for spicy romance because it was a spicy read. And this could count for the second book I read too. Was a spicy romance. Sinfully Wanton by Kathleen Ayers. I love this too. Gave it 5 stars. It was spicy. It was everything. It was funny. It was cute. There was like secrets. It wasn't predictable or formulaic. And I made some bath bombs for this. Like I said, spicy romance would fit. But I also made this one, mustache, for the refined rake. Because in the book we have a rake character and he falls in love, and we always like when that happens. So the refined rake mustache bath bombs, and again 5 stars. I loved it. And the third book I read, The Unraveling by Vi Keeland, and I loved it. It's a thriller, which she's a romance author, but she wrote a thriller, so of course I was curious, and I got the arc. So I did talk about it in another clip, and it definitely had some surprises. There were some things I guessed, but I read a lot of thriller, and watch that mysteries and things, so I seem to guess things a little bit easily. Right? There's lots of twists and turns, and things are interconnected that you don't realize. Like, I like when they drop hints like that are small, and then later on it comes back up and you're like, oh, that's why they mentioned that. So I really love this one. Again, 5 stars. This one comes out, Simply Wanton comes out May 24th, and The Unraveling comes out July 9th. So Simply Wanton will be out soon. So I rated it, but I have to write my review and link it and all that. But it's best if I write my reviews pretty quickly after I read the book, because when I get on to the next book, then I start getting confused. So that was my vlog of arcs, some of the arcs I wanted to read. I have lots more, so I might do another one. And I hope you like the bath bomb stuff. I thought it inspired me, reading about different things to make them. So I had fun. I made a lot. So I might do another art reading vlog soon, but I've got some other things planned. Like, I'm just doing whatever I have the idea to do, and the only way I know if it's interesting is if people watch it and comment on it. And so I love your feedback. I love comments. I read all of my and respond to all my comments. So thanks for watching. I know sometimes these, especially vlogs, get really long because I talk too much and I hate editing. I always feel like everything's important. I'm one of those really bad note takers that just writes everything down. That's the end of my arc vlog of Homestead, Simply Wanton, and The Unraveling. So I'll link my Goodreads and everything down below, and the Amazon links to the books. One is released, but the other two would have to be pre-order. But I'll link everything I can that is in this video. The molds, I showed some tarot cards and book trivia thing. I'll try to link all that at like Etsy shops. I got everything. Okay, that's enough talking for now. I'm going to just relax and read, I think, and I will talk to you soon.